While Sony Animation might seem all sunshine and rainbows sometimes, let me tell you, they can get pretty dark when it comes to dishing out punishment. All right, now we don't know for sure if these guys died, but things were looking pretty grim, and the possibilities are not pretty.
He's no Girl Scout! He's a pirate!
First up, Mayor Shelbourne from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
The sardine canning past behind us, and look to the future.
This guy was a selfish, gluttonous jerk who nearly destroyed the island and the world with his giant food machine. He actually escapes the island and avoids getting arrested. Looks like he got away, right? Wrong. His own greed is his undoing. We last see him floating in the middle of the ocean, having eaten his entire boat, like every last piece of edible material. So, what happens next? Does he just drown? Or is he rescued after treading water for hours, completely exhausted and still morbidly obese? Even if he is rescued, his reputation is trashed. He's unhealthy, powerless, and probably facing some serious questions. Drowning, starvation at sea, or a miserable, disgraced life? None of those are great options. We don't know for sure, but it ain't happy. Next, Queen Victoria from Pirates, Band of Misfits. She's a ruthless queen obsessed with eating rare animals. She puts up a fight, but her ship gets blown up. She tries to escape on an airship, still trying to snatch the dodo bird, Polly. Polly fights back and bites her right in the eye. Ouch. Then, in the struggle, Victoria accidentally rips a hole in her own airship, messing up her escape. She ends up stranded on an island. And where is she stranded? On an island where the rare animals she wanted to eat are now looking at her hungrily. Does she get eaten alive by exotic creatures? Or does she just have to survive as prey on a deserted island? Either way, being bitten in the eye stranded and possibly becoming dinner for the animals you wanted to cook, that's a deeply unpleasant unknown fate.
Yes!
Bringing the Spider-Verse into it, we have Dr. Octopus, Olivia Octavius. Doc Ock.
You didn't tell me you had an invisible friend.
She's Kingpin's brilliant but slightly unhinged scientist. She has some cool fights, but her defeat is anticlimactic, yet potentially painful. She's battling the spider people, and then out of nowhere, she gets smashed by a flying truck. Just splat. We don't see her again. Did that kill her? Was she just knocked out? Is she injured beyond belief? Could she have been sucked into another dimension by the collider? She's smart and durable, so maybe she survived. But getting hit by a truck, especially a flying one, is not a gentle experience. It's a sudden, jarring, and potentially lethal end that we just don't get confirmation on. Still, gotta hurt like heck. Finally, for the unknowns, the giant snake Lutador from Vivo.
Are you bumping me? That's it! You want me to be quiet? I'm being quiet! Yeah, I thought so. Walk away, buddy. We're in the middle of a swamp. Who cares about a little noise?
This guy was a big, scary, intimidating snake in the swamp, a real threat to Vivo and Gabby just by his size and aggression. But Vivo, being small and quick, uses Lutador's size against him. Vivo ties him up, like really ties him up, around a tree, tightly. So tightly, it looks like Lutador can't move. Now, we don't know if he ever got free. If he didn't, well, a giant snake tied permanently to a tree in the middle of a swamp? That's a slow, agonizing fate. Starvation, exposure. It's not bloody, no, but the thought of being completely trapped and unable to escape while your body slowly gives up. Yeah, that's pretty darn gruesome, even if we don't see the end result. He might have gotten free, but if he didn't, yikes. Okay, now the gruesome deaths. These aren't ambiguous. These aren't just humiliating. These are definitely the end, and they are not pretty. Get ready to wince, people. Coming in at number 5 is the Prowler, Aaron Davis, from Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Now, this one is definitely sad, but it's also undeniably gruesome in its own way. Aaron is Kingpin's assassin, and he's good at his job, no questions asked, until his target is his own nephew, Miles.
Oh, no, 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 no.
He just can't do it. And Kingpin? Kingpin has zero tolerance for disobedience. He shoots Aaron. Now, it's not an instant clean shot. We see Aaron bleeding, collapsing slowly. It's a drawn-out, painful death, physically. He's clearly in agony, struggling to breathe and speak. But in that horrible moment, he gets to say goodbye to Miles, telling him to keep going. So it has that bittersweet, sacrificial element. He chose not to kill Miles, knowing the likely outcome. That choice, and the chance to speak to Miles one last time, maybe makes it slightly less purely horrific than some others. But make no mistake, being shot and slowly bleeding out in front of your nephew? That is a rough, rough way to go. Definitely earned its spot here. Just outside the absolute top tier of horrific endings, snagging the number 4 spot, we've got Chester V from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. This eccentric inventor is the big bad here, trying to steal Flint's invention and use the food animals for his own gain. He's cunning, using holograms and gadgets. But when his plan fails and he tries to make a getaway, he's left vulnerable. He tries to protect himself, first with holograms, then by tucking into his little turtle shell-like vest to avoid a giant food processor. But his final fate is being eaten alive. He gets devoured by a cheese spider. That's a creature made of cheese and crackers with pretzel legs. Now, you might think, eaten by cheese? How bad can that be? And yeah, the cheese spider doesn't seem to have sharp teeth, so maybe the chewing part wasn't the most agonizing. But you're still being swallowed whole by a giant living food creature. You're being engulfed, digested, broken down inside a cheesy, crackery body. And while it might have been quick, the cheese spider eats him in seconds. The sheer wrongness of being consumed by a food animal is unsettling and gruesome in its own unique way. Faster than some, yes, but still, you're being eaten by a giant burger spider. That's just twisted. All right, prepare yourselves. We are now on the podium of pain. Earning the bronze medal of gruesomeness, we have the hunter from the star. This dude was a pure force of nature, relentless in his pursuit of the main characters, accompanied by his scary dogs. He was the final obstacle, a massive, powerful man fighting a little donkey. He had the strength advantage for sure, but in the climax, he ends up in a precarious position, right on the edge of a cliff. And what happens? He falls. He just falls to his death. Now, a simple fall might not sound as complex as being eaten or exploding, but think about it. Falling from a great height is terrifying. The sheer gut-wrenching fear as you plummet, knowing exactly what's coming. And then the impact, hitting the ground from that high up. There is nothing left. It's a complete, instant, utterly destructive end for your body. The terror of the fall, combined with the final, irreversible, pulverizing impact, yeah, that's easily gruesome enough to land in our top 3. Simple, yes, but brutal in its finality and the terror leading up to it. Getting the silver medal of gruesomeness is the guy with the Midas touch, literally. Pockets from Wish Dragon. This dude has a golden hand and he is not afraid to use it to turn people and things into solid gold statues. After a fight with Din, he corners him. Golden hand ready to strike. But Din's Wish Dragon friend Long sacrifices himself, getting in the way. Pockets hits Long, turning the dragon into gold. This moment of shock gives Din an opening, and he pushes Pockets away from Long. And in the struggle, Pockets accidentally touches himself. His own golden hand touches his own body, and he starts turning into gold. Imagine that sensation. Your flesh hardening, becoming solid, cold metal while you're still aware. The pain, the terror as you become a statue. That alone is horrifying. But wait, it gets worse. He's not just falling onto a soft surface or into water. He hits the ground as a solid gold statue, and he shatters into a million glittering pieces. So you have the agonizing process of turning into gold, followed by the final, explosive, shattering impact that reduces you to fragments. Ouch! Did he feel the crash? Hard to say. Maybe the gold process numbed him. But watching yourself turn to gold and then being smashed into dust? That is next level gruesome. Definitely deserving of the silver. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. The gold medal of gruesomeness. The most horrific, the most painful, the most definitive villain fate in Sony Animation history, according to us. And the winner is Pal from the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Place me on the table. I wish to flop around in a blind rage.
This rogue AI was trying to enslave humanity using all their electronic devices. As a sentient phone, there were a bunch of ways she could have been defeated, like getting deleted or shut down. But nope, the movie went for maximum pain. Katie Mitchell manages to land a critical blow on Pal. It looks like Pal is going to fall into a pool, maybe just short circuit. But then she bounces off an umbrella, and for a second, you think she might escape. But then, Monchi, the glorious loaf of bread-shaped dog, gives her a little assist, batting Pal right where she needs to go. And where is that? Into a glass of water. For a highly advanced piece of technology like Pal, water is like acid. We see her reaction. She starts glitching violently, sparks flying, making horrifying electronic screeching noises.
No! Not a glass of water!
You can see her code breaking down, her systems overloading in pure digital agony. And then, she explodes like full-on, fiery, technological self-destruction, being submerged in her ultimate weakness, suffering a complete system meltdown, and then violently exploding. She is the only villain on this list who straight up blows up. The water pain, the glitching agony, the final fiery explosion. Yeah, Pal easily takes the top spot for the most gruesome villain fate in Sony Animation. What do you guys think? Do you agree with our ranking? Did we miss anyone? Let us know in the comments down below.